So my name is Dr. Guillermina Gina Nunez Mshiri. I go by Gina or by Dr. Nunez, and I'm an associate professor of anthropology and sociology here in the Department of Sociology and Anthropology at UTEP. So today I'm going to be sharing with you some insights on Cesar Chavez and his leadership. And how would I describe his leadership style? I don't know if there's a particular style that we can talk about, but I know of what I've read about him and what has been taught to me by my father, who knew him when they were young men in Delano, California. So they were both farm workers. How Cesar was usually a very calm, quiet man, very composed. He did fasting and meditation. He would listen a lot to women. The women in the movement, in the United Farm Workers Movement. So Cesar is the co-founder of the UFW, the United Farm Workers Movement, Workers Movement. So Cesar, in his calm way, in his Gandhian way, he would read and study the work of Gandhi to figure out how they could do non-violent protest. But at the same time, when we read history books, we tend to read the history of male leaders, right? The male leader figurehead. So that does not diminish his impact. I think he had a tremendous impact, and particularly in a few areas. One, in his nonviolence movement. Two, in his ability to build relationships across social classes, right? And with people and institutions of power. Yeah. So it was through his leadership, through Cesar Chavez's leadership, that people were able to organize and make their needs met, heard and met. And what we can see now and appreciate now, Roger, so we talked about one, his nonviolent movement, how that served as an example, his ability to organize across class and ethnic lines. So now, 20, 30 years later, what we can see is that farm workers haven't increased in terms of they haven't seen major increases in their salaries, but the conditions, the labor conditions, now there's more government oversight.
Right, they're much better than they were
They're
years ago.
significantly, I would say significantly better than they were 20, 30 years ago.
My name is Charles Martin, and I'm a professor of history in the history department here at UTEP. To me, Cesar Chavez as a leader is a different type or a different style of leader than what you normally think of. I think most people, when you say a leader, they think of someone who's tall, who is physically strong, speaks forcefully, has this kind of very masculine image that's aggressive and strong and fits all sort of stereotypes about masculine. When you say a leader, first of all, you think of a man, and you think of a masculine style of leader. I mean, Chavez to me is this very different kind of leader, and I think that's part of his long-term appeal, is that he raises moral issues. He does not come across as this in-your-face sort of person in an aggressive sense, but it's a determined, more spiritual kind of leadership, and I think for some people anyway, that maybe is more successful in the long run. If you're trying to raise issues that aren't just politics or economics, but basically moral, what's a decent policy in society, his kind of approach, I think, puts opponents of that on the defensive, because he's not trying just to browbeat you. He's not like listening to political candidates today yell over each other. So it's entirely different kind, more Gandhi-esque kind of leadership.
Opposite of a stereotypical leader, what some would say of what a stereotypical leader would look like, at least. Right,
appearance and style, the kind of arguments advanced, all of these are quite different, and so it does contribute to this almost, again, kind of saintly kind of image. The other side of the coin for that is then if you have this kind of image, you have to always be careful that you appear to live up to it.
Okay, my name is Gina Nunez. I'm professor of anthropology at UTEP, and I support a National Cesar Chavez Day.
Certainly we need to have more things like a Cesar Chavez Awareness Month and pay a little bit more attention to what we're doing.